Howdy folks, I'm really excited because I'm actually filming this intro after we've already done the testing, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but all I'm going to say is you're going to want to watch this. So I had the opportunity to recently test this PM60 blade steel that's on the Kunwu Chad. It's a blade steel I've never tried before, and it's a very, very hard high edge retention blade steel. We already did a cut test with it just by itself, just seeing how it did, but I wanted to pit it against another blade steel, and I didn't want to do something like K390 15V, something like that to where we wouldn't really be able to tell a clear winner at the end. I wanted to make it a challenge, so I decided to pit it against Spyderco's S30V. The standard blade steel on their base models that most of their base models that they've been using for years. And I know from experience, it's good stuff. It's done really well. If you're going to have S30V, Spyderco's S30V is the best because their heat treats are always the best. So I thought that would be a good battle. On paper, this S30V is not going to hold an edge like PM60 on paper, but as you know, there's a lot of variables, so I wanted to see what would happen if we do a cut test battle between S30V, Spyderco's S30V, and Kunwu's PM60. Now, Kunwu is also known for paying a lot of attention and being very good with their heat treats too. So another reason why I think it's a good mashup, good battle. This was really fun. Like I said, you're going to want to watch this, and let's go. All right, fight. Let's do it. Spyderco's S30V blade steel versus Kunwu's PM60 blade steel. Who will cut the longest? Now remember, this is not really a blade and cutting performance test, although you will get to see how these blades perform. But it's more of an edge retention test. I want to see which of these two can hold a nice sharp edge the longest. So both have factory edges, just been stropped up. Let's cut some cardboard. We're going to cut around 25 feet of cardboard per knife. So let's get to it. This Warney PM2 is really a cardboard destroyer. It might not be the thinnest blade stock that it's not as thin as like a TRM or something, but especially the Warney here, it just, you don't slip out of your cuts. It's just a really long, aggressive worn clip and very good for destroying cardboard. There we go. That was 25 feet-ish. Onto the Chad. And here we go. Also destroying cardboard easily. I would say it's held back a little bit because it's not a full flat grind like the PM2 is. But the blade stock thickness definitely isn't too thick, and we've got less than 20 thousandths behind the edge, so it's definitely making short work of this cardboard too. Let's do some utility cutting next. Both these blade shapes are real good at it. We have a sheep's foot and a Warncliffe, both with very low tips. One is just more pokey than the other. Starting with the Warncliffe PM2 in S30V. This is just such a good utility cutter, it's crazy. I mean, how could it not be, right? Just looking at it, it's like a talon. About 15 feet of utility cutting. This cardboard was about a foot wide. Onto the Chad. This is very easy too. I feel like the PM2 is a little bit easier to be maybe a little bit more precise with your utility cutting, just because it is a Wharncliffe and you have that acute tip. You'll see that come into play when we do some curves and turns. And let's do those curves and turns right now. Starting with the S30V PM2. You can see since it is a Wharncliffe, more of a pointy tip, it's easier to just kind of navigate it and make turns and all that. Definitely still very easy with the sheep's foot, just not quite as precise. What next? Glove, baby. Leather time. Glove time. Sushi time. I think we're doing 5 each, starting with the S30V. This is not the best blade shape for this kind of cutting. Something with a little belly is a little bit better. But the Wharncliffe's taking care of it. Onto the Chad. Also taking care of it. I think on this one the Chad actually did a little bit better. Nice clean cuts. Had to go back a second time on a few of them, but pretty good. Still got some stick to the edges. I'm not going to go to the paper and test them until we're all done. Let's do some thick rubber tubing, just a little bit. Starting with the S30V PM2. Again, not the best blade shape for this, but it works. 5 cuts, just 5 quickies. Onto the Chad PM60. Again, not preferred, but I think did a little better than the Wharncliffe. Say so, rope. Just a few cuts. Starting with the PM2 S30V. Again, not the preferred blade shape for this, but it works. I'm going to do a whole video on that because I'm not sure. It's kind of, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's kind of hard to visualize it. So I think if you're not sure exactly what I mean by these type of cuts being easier with a little belly, demonstration will be coming soon. Both knives did about the same on this one, I think. Alright, we're on to the last test. One of the hardest. The heavy-duty 2-inch ratchet strap cut. We got a lot of edge we're working with on both these, so they have the capability of going all the way through in one go. And we got very close with the S30V PM2. Let's try again. Even closer. Almost, baby. Let's try the Chad. PM60. real close. One more time. Pretty close again. I think the PM2 made it a little farther though. And that about wraps up the testing. Now comes the reveal. Cast your votes now. Scout's honor. Don't pull any tricks. But guess right now in the comments, and if you win, you get a gold star. If you guess correctly, you get a gold star, I mean. Alright, starting with the PM2 and S30V. How's it gonna do? Wow. Holy shit. That was surprising. Onto the PM60. The Chad. Had a little trouble starting it. This is just user error. Hang on a minute. There we go. We already know the PM60 is going to be good to go. But man, I was not expecting this S30V to glide through the paper like that. I really wasn't. And it's not like I'm trying to force it, or look at how easily it's cutting. Blew me away, to be honest with you. You know, I've always been one to be like, you know, S30V is fine, but if I have another option, like something better, supposedly better, I will go for it. But I'm reconsidering that. You know, for example, like if I could get this Warney PM2 in like a different blade steel, I probably would have, but this was the only version I could get. But holy shit, dude. Geez. I mean, you know, if we kept cutting, it'd probably take, you know, half an hour to an hour, but the PM60 probably would eventually beat the S30V, but that was a fair amount of cutting different materials that are, you know, hard on edges. And I can't tell a difference between the two. I possibly, well, no, I can't say the PM2 wins. It was I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. This was unexpected, you know. I knew that Spyderco's S30V was going to be good. But I don't know. I'm just blown away. Spyderco's heat treat is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. I guarantee you, if we did the same test with like some Benchmade S30V, we would have different results. Absolutely. Maybe I should try to do that at some point. That'd be fun. Anyways, thanks folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really fun to make. And please like it. Like the video before you leave. Thank you and adios.